If you've ever wondered what it would be like to have a little bit of Bloodborne in your Final Fantasy, then boy do I have the job for you. Reaper is the newest melee DPS job introduced with the Endwalker expansion, and in this video we're going to cover a bit of what the job is like to play at level 90. Also, just as a quick note, this video will contain some minor spoilers for the newest set of 8-person raids, Pandemonium. There will be some gameplay clips in here from those raids, but nothing story related will be discussed. So if you don't want to see mechanics or boss designs for those raids, then you can click away or click to the wrap up at the end. Before we start out, I just want to make it completely clear that I'm not the most well versed in melee DPS. My primary role is tank, followed by range DPS and then healer. While I had multiple jobs in each role at level 70 or 80 before Endwalker came out, the closest I had in melee was level 77 on Samurai. All that is just to say that I definitely know what I'm talking about, and I definitely hit all of my positionals, and I definitely don't let Death's design fall off, and my opinion should be taken as 100% fact. The first thing I want to talk about with this job are the most obvious bits. The aesthetic. From the moment it was revealed, it was clear this job was going to be popular. Besides just being a new job, it also has flashy, colorful animations, and by default is pretty edgy just due to the scythe and the Bloodborne glam options. The level 70 starting gear, and the level 80 gear for that matter, are super reminiscent of the True Linen striking set. The level 89 gear, however, is complete with cloak and a big hat and mask combo that even Hrothgar and Viera can wear. This set just oozes edge, especially after completing the level 90 melee DPS quest and unlocking the ability to dye it. As a melee DPS job, Reaper's primary responsibility is to just stay alive and do damage. There are a few key things to remember with this job, however. First, it's important to keep Death's design up at all times. This is a 10% damage increase applied by the Shadow of Death ability for single targets and Whirl of Death for AoE. In addition to being a pretty significant part of your damage, this also serves the purpose of increasing your soul gauge by 10 for every enemy killed while they're affected by it. Second, Gibbet and Gallows have positionals. These are the only two positionals in the entire job, and they're not tied to your 1-2-3 combo. Gibbet gains 60 potency when executed from the flank, and Gallows gains the same amount from the rear. Third, Plentiful Harvest can't be used until after Bloodsown Circle runs out, so you have to wait several GCDs after using Arcane Circle. Be sure to keep this in mind when you're placing Arcane Circle in your opener or lining up for raid buffs. The overall rotation for the job is pretty simple. Focus on getting your soul gauge up through Soul Slice and Soul Scythe to use abilities like Gluttony, Gibbet, and Gallows. Then use those abilities to build your Shroud gauge so that you can use your super edgy Enshroud form. In a lot of cases, it doesn't matter which one of the abilities you use first, as long as you alternate between them to keep up the enhanced version, like with Void Reaping and Cross Reaping. The freeform feeling to the rotation is great for learning the melee role. While learning this job before other melees might not give you the clearest idea of a strict rotation and regular positionals, it lets you understand the ideas behind the role without punishing you too harshly for mistakes. That being said, there are a few things that bother me when playing this job just because they feel a little bit outdated or clunky. For example, Shadow of Death and Whirl of Death are both a full GCD ability and are required to maximize your damage output, but the Death's design debuff that gets applied to targets has no way to be refreshed outside of using these two abilities again. It's not the end of the world, but it does lead to having to add an extra GCD into your rotation that isn't part of your combo just to make sure you're getting your full damage. Also, I don't completely understand the design decisions behind Soul Sow. Basically, you want to use the ability before the pull to make sure you have Harvest Moon ready, and then there's really nowhere else to fit in a 5-second cast time to your rotation. Of course, it's something you can prep during downtime, and it varies from fight to fight, but this seems to be a super situational ability. In terms of balance, Reaper is currently incredibly strong. In the first week of Asphodelos Savage, Reaper is being seen 46% of the time in a role with 5 separate jobs. I understand that part of this is due to the state of Ninja and Samurai being a little bit weaker than they realistically should be, but that 46% number is ridiculous. In my opinion, the job does a bit too much damage considering it also has a party-wide regen ability, a group damage buff, and is easy to play as it is. I enjoy the job and would love for it to remain strong, but for other jobs to be really viable, it's going to need to see some numbers tuning. Overall, I think Reaper is a super enjoyable job and a great addition to the game. It's a fairly simple job that makes it easy for people who are new to melee DPS to learn and provide some great utility for raiding. It's a bit too strong right now, but I think a little bit of tweaking would leave it in line with the other melees without letting it feel too oppressive. What do you think? Have you gotten to try Reaper out yet? Leave your thoughts in a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.